I'm Mishima Yuki, and you're listening to the Giant Sword Podcast, home of the second biggest group of Phantom Thieves ever. The first being me. Keck.
Hello, and welcome to this week's Giant Sword Podcast. I'm your party leader, Nick. Joining me as always is Taylor.
What up?
And Shadow.
¿Cómo está? How's everybody doing?
Oh, how's everyone doing? Yeah. Taylor?
Good. Got the house to myself. Matt's visiting his girlfriend for the week, so it's nice.
Get to sit out in your underwear all day long?
Nah, I don't do that, but I could if I wanted to.
I don't know how some guys do that. They just walk around in their underwear. I can't. I need to put on some type of pants or shorts or something. I can't do that.
Exactly.
It's worse
Leaving
when
your stank all over the place. Nope.
It's worse when you're wearing socks and you're in their underwear. It's just like, why do you have only socks and underwear on? It's like, it's weird. Doesn't make any sense. Oh, I'm tired. How are you guys?
Okay. I've been getting decent sleep lately. Not too tired.
I've been doing good myself. Nothing to really complain about.
Lucky. Did you get all your projects in order, Taylor?
Yeah. I mean, we're almost done. Unfortunately, one of the files I needed, Matt took with him, so I'm sort of waiting for him to upload it to our Dropbox file. So I got to sit and wait for that, and then I can put the finishing touches. But then it'll be good.
It's good. Well, this week we got some surprising footage, I should say. They showed off games that we've been looking forward to. So let's go right into it and start with the trailer that everyone wanted to see. Tales of the Rise was shown off, and nothing was shown.
Oh my god! You know what? We'll see stuff when we see stuff, but I just question what was the point in all this,
Right?
Yeah.
Like, come on! You had this game in development for a long time. Like, you had a problem with the global situation going on for like a year. I can't see that you guys did nothing for the entirety of 2020. Like, you had to been working on this behind the scenes. You had to get your whole working from home situation done. Yes, it was probably harder to work from home than it is to work in the office and stuff like that. But you have to have something ready to show us at this point. Why do you have to make an announcement for an announcement? Maybe it's to garner hype, I guess, for that new trailer that will finally grace our presence at some point. I don't know, but why do you need to do that? I don't know.
I know, that's exactly what this is. Like, here's a teaser for what we're going to show off later on in the year. It's like, oh, thanks. We've already seen. You didn't have. You didn't have to tease us with this.
Yeah, I guess it's like people have been saying is for us to know that the game still exists and to put it on casuals, radar, and stuff like that. Video game websites where radar this game is still around, so they can give hype for it, and then they're ready to report it when the day comes. Because if it just dropped like that, maybe I guess those journalists and stuff like that wouldn't have been able to talk about it quickly or something like that. I don't know, but I still feel they could have showed 10 seconds of some new gameplay. They could have showed a UI or something.
Yeah, they just they need to show actual gameplay, like not just story moments, because we've seen story moments. I'm watching it right now. It's in the and it looks good. It looks fine. It just didn't show anything. I wanted to see the game actually in action.
We still got that same snippet of gameplay that we had when the game first was revealed in 2019 or something like that.
Was this 2018, Yep. Taylor?
No, that's not 2018. It couldn't have been 2018.
I think it might have been 2019. I think.
Well, I don't know.
That seems like too long.
Yeah, doesn't it? Seems like
it doesn't. Yeah, it don't make no sense. And I don't want to get all crazy and all pitchforks and whatnot. But it's just you can't you can't like not understand why I'm a little bit upset by this.
Yeah.
Like, can you not see what's like why this would make people a little bit antsy, make you question what are you guys doing at the Tail Studio or Bandai Namco or whatever? I don't know, man.
So they're gonna show it off at their own direct. They're gonna have a whole Tales of Direct, and it's gonna
Now wait a
be.
minute. Was that it's been so long. It might have just been 2018. But was that the first English dub trailer?
It was,
Nah.
yeah.
It was, yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll give them that. So there's somewhere with the English dub. That's really good to have an English dub trailer up. So this game might be coming out. We get some information probably in the summer. Yeah, it's probably going to be a 2022 title.
That's so crazy because it was supposed to come out last year.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
Skipped a whole year.
Yeah,
And it's
That
still
don't make no
saying
sense.
Tales of Rise is in development for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. None of the new consoles.
I'm kind of surprised at that because I figured, for it to get delayed this far, I would have guessed that it was because they were porting it to the new consoles. But
I bet you they are. I bet you they haven't announced it yet. They're waiting for that whole. We're gonna show all this stuff in spring. That's what they've been saying. They say it right here. Spring is just around the corner, and we've been working hard to make it unforgettable. So it's like, well, okay.
That's what I'm thinking now. Like that 2020 was just a placeholder for them, and they always plan to release in 2021. If there was no problem with COVID and stuff like that, they probably just planned to release in 2021. But COVID really messed them up.
So if you look at the fine print at the end of that Tales trailer, this could mean nothing. Maybe they just put this at the end of everything, but it says PlayStation Family Mark, PlayStation, PS5 logo, PS4 logo are all trademarks of Sony Interactive. Xbox Sphere, the Xbox Series X and S logo are trademarks of Microsoft. So maybe and that could just be them doing that just because they put that on all their trailers. But
I mean, it's not gonna surprise me if it does come to PS5.
No, not at
or
all.
Xbox Series. It's gonna be on there, probably like an upgrade or something like that. Maybe not a physical release. Maybe just you put it in the PS5, it runs better, or something like that. Nah.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, that I think every PS4 game can do that.
Most of them, yeah.
But yeah, it would have been nice to get a native PS5 port, whatever. It doesn't matter because honestly, the better way to do it would be because it's going to be $70, right? Just buy the $60 PS4 version and then upgrade for free and save yourself $10. So
I don't know. A lot of next gen games aren't only $70. There's some that still come out at 60.
Okay, that's good.
So I don't know. I know I see some games are starting to go back to 60. Maybe they're like, 70 is too high. I don't know.
Well, I think it's right now. It's the first party games, right? So all the Sony exclusives. But yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it'll only be $60. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm kind of with Shadow on this. Like, I don't know what the point of this trailer was outside of having some English voice acting, which is cool. But like, if you announce this and then you're gonna have news in spring, which is like next month, why not just wait? And the only thing I can think of is I think Bandai Namco had some sort of like event or something, because Nick would probably know this, but they also had a ton of Dragon Ball Z game news. Like they announced new characters, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot got DLC. So I'm wondering if there was some Bandai Namco event or something. And they're like, let's just throw it in there.
I don't know. I think, I don't know. I just remember there was a bunch of news that just dropped. And this wasn't really this right here, this trailer wasn't really news. It was just teasing. That's all it was. And I know people hate teasers so much. So
Wouldn't even mind if it was a teaser. This was like the first or second trailer, but come on, bro.
I mean, it's the same. Like you've been saying, it's the same shots. He pulls the sword out of the girl. It's them on the train. We've seen these shots a million times before. It's nothing new.
Yep.
And there's rumors going around that there's going to be some Microsoft event. Like, I don't know if you guys saw I don't think this is in the news at all, but there was supposedly a leaked Elden Ring trailer, and that was going to coincide with some sort of Microsoft event. And so maybe they're teasing, because this got announced at Microsoft at E3. So maybe there's some Microsoft event coming up or something that they're going to show a trailer. I don't know, but Again, I don't. It seemed like a pointless trailer, but I'm still hyped for it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it. I want to see the game running, like actual, like someone playing it. I want to see it not be what people think it is. Speaking of what people not think it is, we were wrong, or I was wrong about what the battle system was going to be for the next Trails game.
What did you think it was gonna be?
I thought it was gonna be like, the turn-based still, but the action. I said they were like, oh, it's gonna have action elements to it. I thought the action elements were gonna be like circle at this time to dodge or something like that. But it turns out that there's an action like battle system, and then you could go into the turn-based battle system. They showed off gameplay. They showed the game off. They showed off the characters and everything. So my thoughts on it really quick. I think the action part is just like a way for you to get rid of the trash, like easy trash battles, just hack and slash. And then when a battle is actually like, hard and difficult, then you have to actually go into the turn base, because the way you get into the turn base is when you activate your orbit. I don't know the name of this game's. It's like It's the Arcus. What's it called? Well, you have to activate your thing and to use spells and crafts and shit. So you can't use spells and you can't use crafts when you're doing the action battle gameplay. So that's why.
Wait, what? Are you sure? Are you sure about that?
Yeah, because your thing's not activated. Oh, sorry. Do the battle system. Yeah, so your Zipha. When your combat orbit Zipha, when you activate it, it becomes the turn-based, and that's when you could use your spells and stuff.
Oh, Jesus Christ! If that's the case, that's even worse than I imagined. Oh my God!
So they're swapping. He's doing slashing.
I'm watching it. Hold on, I have to read that up. That doesn't make sense. That seems like a clusterfuck waiting to happen.
I mean, I get if it was simplified, that would make sense. Because can you imagine making two completely different combat systems for an RPG? Like that's crazy.
Yeah. That's what I thought they were doing to begin with, and that's still a problem in itself. But now you're saying that they can't even choose between one or the other. They have to do in both of these styles, switching back and forth. I don't know how to feel about that. That seems.
I mean, you saw it. You saw the footage, right?
Yeah, I saw the footage, but I thought
you see it in action.
Switching between one and the other, and you still have full functionality between both of them. But you're saying that there's only half function for one, and then the other half for another. That seems...
So when you do the action stuff is when you take out when you want to do arts and stuff, it becomes turn based. But I think let me look. If I recall,
actually, that makes sense because I'm watching it right now. So I'm looking at it, and what's her name? Agnes. That's the girl's name. The caster girl.
Yeah. So
when you switch to turn base and it's her turn, yeah, there's like new buttons that open up because. Okay, so in the turn based mode, if you hit, it looks like L1 is assigned to the spells. So the player hits L1 and then opens up like a menu. And then in the action combat, L1 is like a character swap button, it looks like. Because in the upper left, it says L1 and there's two characters. So it looks like that's the character switching. You might be onto something, Nick, because the buttons are definitely different.
Yeah.
Buttons are different because of switching styles.
And you can move around. Like, I think what you're seeing is like in the turn-based battle system, you can move when it's your turn, you can move your character around and stuff like that, right? And it doesn't cost a turn to move your character. You can move freely. And when you get near one of your other characters, you can do combos and stuff. So I think the turn-based battle system is actually the main battle system, and the action one is just hack and slash, get rid of the trash mobs, grind kind of battles. I think every boss battle is going to be the turn-based system.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case. Okay, I'm not even sure what's going on there anymore.
Yeah. Well. I mean, we'll have to wait for more info.
Yeah.
But I mean, either way, it's kind of wild that they're making two systems like this. So, Shadow, you said it's problematic. Why do you say it's problematic?
Because you should be focusing on one thing and trying to perfect that, rather than trying to cater to everyone. That's the problem we had with the Cold Steel 4 ending. They try to cater to everyone, and it ended up being a complete another clusterfuck. Still a nice ending, both endings, but still you got a clusterfuck of an ending that's like, what the fuck? Which I'm guessing is going to be explained in Hajimari no Kizuki, but still at least Cold Steel 4 out to dry. Yeah, I feel like if it is one battle system or the other, like I said, I feel like it's not going to be fleshed out. One's going to be half-assed, the other one's going to be, I guess, or more fun to play, because we've seen this happen in other JRPGs before where it just doesn't work out too well. Final Fantasy VII had some action mode and classic mode. People said classic mode was crap. Final Fantasy 15 also had like a wait command style thing. Nobody actually used that because Tetsuya Nomura and the developers behind Final Fantasy 15 didn't want to completely abandon people who wanted turn based. Yeah, Dragon Quest 11 that tried to do something different with having a sort of roaming free battle system, even though it was pretty much still turn based. You could move your character out on the battlefield any way you wanted to, give you this illusion of freedom. My opinion, people need to, especially with a series as long as this, people need to let go. People have got to let go and let the developers do something different that's going to help the series grow. If you keep like holding on to the past, you're never going to grow, never going to see new developments, see new fans come to the series, see the series make as much money as it possibly can, because turn-based, unfortunately, it's not dead, but it is a thing of the past, and it needs to not need to die or anything like that, but sometimes the series needs to go expand more. And I think action based is probably the only thing these developers can think of, because the average person does not care for a gameplay that has one character sits there and the other character is the enemy, and you're just taking turns whacking at each other. That's not going to appeal to a wide audience. Action does, and that's all there is to it. And that's why they're trying to make more action based battle systems, so casuals can get into it. But longtime fans, especially for a series like this, they're not going to accept anything less than turn-based, because that's what they know and love. But they don't care if the series doesn't, reach anybody else. It just stays in this little cocoon.
What if this is like an in-between game? What if this is like their attempt at like, hey, so the next game's only gonna have action, like get used to.
This is definitely like an experiment, no doubt. Like, let's just see how what people respond to this. See how the old fans and new people come together and respond to it.
And I don't know if you guys have read this. I didn't know anything about this, but Kraft from our Discord, he mentioned to me that they said that if people don't like this one, they're not just going to continue to make a series out of it. So if like they put it out and people don't like it, it'll be a one and done type of thing, which Kraft, he said that like that sort of implies that it won't be slow like Cold Steel 1. So do you guys feel like they're going to hit the ground running with this one, or do you have any feeling whatsoever what that could possibly mean?
Are you talking to me?
You or Shadow? I mean, you guys know, you're more familiar with this series than I am.
So I was rewatching another video that they showed where it showed the action, like more in depth of the action gameplay. It looks like they have abilities as well, so it's not just hack and slash. Looks like they have abilities. Excuse me. It kind of reminded me of Tokyo Xanadu. With their abilities. So
you have like you shoot like ranged or whatever.
No shooting.
Like
no
you
shooting.
have
no shooting. Just like hack slash, like slash ability. No.
Okay.
But it looks. They've done plenty of action RPG games, so I'm not worried about them making
Oh
an
no,
action.
I mean,
I'm not a,
they have the chops to do it. And I have to say, to me, I mean, you guys, I think will agree, this has to be the best looking Falcom game yet, right? Like the animations look really smooth. Like when the main guy's fighting, does like a backflip to kind of dash away, and like even the running looks less stiff. Like to me, the Trails games always look so stiff with a lot of the animations. Even Ease 9, like I was just finishing up the platinum for Ease 9, and like, man, some of these running animations are so stiff. Um, and it looks good. The lighting looks better. The details on the character models look better. Like I mean, I know this is like the first game with their new engine or whatever, but I feel like they've taken a pretty big step up in the production value.
Taylor, what have you been looking at? It obviously looks like a PS2 game. This
Oh
game
yes, right.
it's like Dragon Quest 8 looks better than this. I'm reading comments right now, and that's what people are saying.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot about people saying that this game doesn't look up to snuff, and this is why some people can't really get into JRPGs or any Falcom games. It just look like they're so dated and so behind. Which for Falcom games and for JRPGs, yeah, this looks fine. It looks like an improvement to us, but like to an average person, yeah, these graphics ain't gonna do it. These graphics aren't really gonna cut it for the most.
They expect realism and not stylized games. It looks
Well, like not even style games. Like they'll say like even Persona 5 looks better than this. Like
Which it does.
Yeah, it does. But they're looking for like games with the graphical fidelity of Final Fantasy 7 remake or Final Fantasy 15 or something.
You're never like people need to realize that you're never gonna get games like that only from Square Enix because they have the budget to do so.
Exactly. But
Yep.
again, that's not gonna help, casual people trying to get into the series. They don't know any better that that's the case.
Which is, I find it so funny that people say that, because you look at games like Pokemon, which again, I'll argue is the most popular JRPG franchise, and those never look, those are, in fact, I would say those always look pretty graphically inferior to a lot of games, even on the console that it's on. Like when you look at other Switch games, there's other Switch games that look way better than Pokemon Sword and Shield, or on the 3DS,
When people say it looks like a PS2 game, that one actually does look like a PS2 game. Those Pokemon games.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like, I guess for something like Pokemon, that shouldn't happen.
They should have the budget to
They should have the budget to do better. But like even if a game like Pokemon, if it looked like even though it looks like that, it shouldn't bother people because it's Pokemon. It's a good game.
Yeah.
But like you said, it shouldn't look like that. It
shouldn't look like that.
At the bare minimum, it shouldn't be like skipping frames and having a terrible frame rate and stuff like that. It doesn't really make sense because we've seen Nintendo first party games like Mario Odyssey run at 60 FPS on the Switch or something like that.
Even on handheld,
Yeah, so it's like, what is the Pokemon company doing? I know, okay, it's maybe not the Pokemon company, but it's Game Freak or whatever. It doesn't matter. They're all still part of Pokemon, so they should be able to hire like good graphic designers, good optimizers, all these good stuff. Like Pokemon is the only franchise that I ever see with like fans making trailers of what Pokemon could look like.
Oh, I saw that tweet about the remake. Oh my god! And you're like, Pokemon's never gonna look like this. I saw that.
There's always a trailer. There's always an image of what Pokemon should look like or what they want it to be. But it's never gonna do that because y'all don't ask for more. You're okay with what they give you, and you try to make a reason out of what they give you. So it's like I don't care anymore. Like do whatever you want because it's never gonna look like this. They're never gonna do this because they don't have to, and you guys don't care enough.
Exactly.
It's stupid, man.
Because they keep selling millions and millions of copies. Like Sword and Shield, I think one of, if not the best-selling Pokemon games. After all the complaining, it didn't matter. People are gonna, because it's super casual. Like people like me are people that play Pokemon. Like I'm not in it for the multiplayer. I'm not in it for the competitive. I go in, I pick Pokemon that look cool, and I play my 30 hours and I'm done. And I never play it again. Like I'm the typical Pokemon player. So, and I don't care. To me, I'm like, all right, it keeps looking a little bit better every time. I don't care enough. Like, to me, it's fine. You know,
Right.
I'm not one of those people that want it to be like a super amazing AAA. Like, would it be nice? Yeah, sure.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I just don't care. To me, it's like it's good enough. And Pokemon, to me, I guess I don't care enough to like uh, whatever, not buy the game and vote with my wallet and all that crap. Like, it's fine. Now, if that was Final Fantasy or Persona or something that really stakes it's like what it's all about on the visuals and the presentation, then we'd have a problem. Like if Persona 6 looked worse than Persona 5, it would be like, hold up.
Yeah,
You guys just made one of
exactly.
the most stylish games like ever, and you can't make your next game look better. Like, what's happening?
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah,
Persona-
for Pokemon, it's different. It's Pokemon. See?
Persona 6 is gonna have the Nintendo menu style, you know, the basic ass menus. It's not even gonna be. It's not even gonna. It's like there's gonna be no style to them at all. It's gonna. Oh, I hate that stupid style for Nintendo. It really turns me off to playing Nintendo games because they all have that stupid menu style, and it looks lazy.
I guess I don't know what you're talking about because you've said this before. The menu, the Nintendo menus. I don't know what that means.
If you look at all the old Nintendo games, right? They all have stylized menus. They all look like, you know, they belong in the game. Now they all look like they have Times New Roman menus where it's like a box and it's like a Times New Roman. It's like, really? I'll show you. I'll show you examples in after the podcast.
Okay.
But it's just like it like every first party Nintendo game has this problem, and it's just why are you doing this?
Like I said, like Pokemon, like you never see another game or series have these concept trailers of what it could look like. It's only Pokemon that you ever see this stuff for. But hey, you know, people just gonna eat up what they're gonna eat up.
Well, you know what's funny? I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was like this there was like a fan like Persona 5 soundtrack thing that like a bunch of fans made before Persona 5 was even announced. And they like came up with their own like visual concept. It was going to be like black and white, and it was going to be about like the theme was like being a puppet and stuff like this. It was pretty wild. And then Persona 5 was better than that. So like even when other people do that, like the companies deliver beyond what we could even imagine. Like I don't think anybody expected Persona 5 to look as good as it did. At least I didn't. You know, I'm like, it'll look like Catherine and that'll be enough. But like my God, they like went way beyond
The menus and everything, right?
Yeah, the menus, I mean, even just like the character portraits, I feel like had more like detail to them.
If you look at the old menu of the reveal trailer, you're like, hey, that's not in the game. That's not in the game.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah. So like the one that sticks with me the most is like the overpass thing where they're on like the second level looking over the city.
Yeah.
I think what they ended up doing is now it's when they're in front of those windows in the actual game. I'm doing a terrible job of explaining.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Early footage, man. All good.
Yeah.
So back to trails
So
and stuff.
that really triggered us. Jeez.
Yeah.
What a tangent.
So that like the looks of the game don't bother me at all. I enjoy it.
Me
and
yeah.
I'm glad that they're sticking to their guns and doing what they do because screw the mainstream. They don't have to go realistic or anything like that. I hate when games do that. That was the problem with the PS3 era, is when the Japanese started trying to become Western games and people were like, no, stop it.
See, that's what I never understood, that whole movement. It's like, yeah, let's make our games appeal more to the Western. It's like, no, you're missing the point entirely. The whole point is we like your games because they're weird in Japanese. So when you try to Westernize them, it makes them worse. And I was watching a review recently for Ni no Kuni 2 of all games, and apparently they designed that game with a Western market in mind. And I'm like, oh, no wonder it's not as good. Yeah, that was. I don't get why they did that. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I don't go. Yeah, that was. Yeah, good. I'm looking forward to seeing more to this game. It looks interesting. I think the battle system looks cool. But they could completely screw it up. We don't know. It could be original Final Fantasy 15. So
Falcom's usually pretty like, I feel like their quality is like consistently like 7 out of 10. So I don't think they're gonna like nosedive out of nowhere. I do think there's probably gonna be some controversy around like the hybrid combat system or whatever. But we'll have to wait and see.
I love how people are complaining. Here's another complaint: is like, why is there a 13-year-old girl? What's with all this pedo crap? It's like there's always a 13-year-old girl or a young girl in a Trails game, and they're not a love interest. They're just a young girl character.
People just trying to find anything to complain about, especially nowadays when it comes to really young characters. They're just trying to find something. They're probably not even gonna play the fucking game because the next thing they're gonna ask is, do I have to play this game or do I have to play the other games? Yes, you gotta play the other fucking games. Get the fuck out of here. You don't even have to belong here.
Man, you're gonna gatekeep.
Man, I'm just gonna tell it like it is. You gotta play the other games.
Yeah, I see people right now complain. It's like, I don't want to get in the Cold Steel series because I heard it's just a harem with Reen being a stand-in character. I'm like, no, it's not all. I mean, yes, there's a harem in it, but if it's only like the main story, that's not really a harem. If you want to go with the main story, you just go with Elisa. It's the main story makes it seem like you're going with Elisa. But if you want, you could fall in love with another character. It's all good. It's not like there's harems in any of the other Trails games. I mean, come on, every character loves Lloyd, and everyone had crushes on Joshua. It's just a thing.
I'm not even a big Trails fan. In fact, I would say I'm not a fan, and I totally disagree with that. Like, that's not what the games are about.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you were like, look at what a good romance is all about. Look at Josh and Estelle. I'm like, okay, I get there's Josh and Estelle. It's good writing there. But Chloe and what other like two other girls also like Joshua. It's just a thing. It's just yeah.
They like Cold Steel really messed up because Cold Steel was unfortunately trying to be like Persona, so that's one of the reasons it had a lot of characters in it, and that's why it had a lot of love interest. And then they had to run with that throughout the entire games because, well, we knew Alicia was like the freaking it's like the canon like relationship, but since they always had different endings and different bonding events for each of the girls depending on which one you choose, they said, well, we don't want to really restrict that to just Alicia. We want other players to feel good about who they want a relationship with Reen. So they decide to just appease everybody, which I'd rather you just have one official relationship than having it open ended.
Yeah, but there's also like a clear favoritism, I should say. Like the writing focused on these girls more than the other girls in their bonding events. Like Laura and Emma is completely different from like Fee and stuff like that. And I like how you could pull a reverse Sarah, and you could fall in love with one of your students. I thought that was funny. I was like, wow, they actually did it. You could actually go out with Muse.
But yeah, so Persona has better waifus, though. We can all agree with that, right? Right?
Oh my goodness.
If you pick better waifus, if you did not pick Futaba. If you picked Futaba, I want to smack all of you. Just like, and you complain about going out with 13-year-old girls, and you pick Futaba.
Like, I don't care that Futaba is 13 or anything like that. I hate that Futaba is so manufactured. She is so manufactured for people like us to like her. Like, she talks in
She's
video
a gamer and a nerd.
Yeah, I really I almost like I don't know about you, Taylor, but did you feel like a little bit like weird when Futaba is always speaking in these gamer terms and in Strikers? Because like she's always talking like that. I'm like, that sounds cringy. Like, why does that sound cringy to me? It should be
Some
right up my
were
alley.
some were more cringe than others. But I hear what you're saying.
I don't know why that's the reason I don't like Futaba. She's so perfectly manufactured for weebs and gamers to like her. Like it's so bad. Like it couldn't be any more blatantly obvious.
It's just it's also her story. It's like, okay, you're like a brother to her. Keep it that way.
Yeah, that's why I would have kept it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Taylor was going after Futaba, then he got that feel, and he was like, okay, this is kind of weird. And then he went after what's her face?
Makoto.
Makoto, yeah.
I need to get her into Royal because I think Kasumi is going to be best girl when it's all said and done. Although from what I've heard, I know she's not in the game a lot, but still.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Kasumi. Well, yeah, it's kind of like Kasumi is kind of like the add-on content for Ys 8.
What?
Like, no, Tokyo Xanadu is a better thing. It's like you have the main story of Tokyo Xanadu, and then you have like your side story stuff.
Yeah,
it kind of feels like that. Sometimes it's connected, but it also feels unconnected until you get to the main Kasumi plot.
Interesting. Because I saw in the trailers, I mean, she pops up here and there. Like I know you see her at the Hawaii school trip and stuff like that, but I guess it's not a lot.
That's not until you get to the end of the game.
Near the end, that's when it gets big.
Gotcha. All right. Well, someday when there's nothing to play, which will be never, I'll get around to Royal.
I mean, like, what are you playing now?
Bravely Default.
Oh yeah, you're playing Bravely Default. Okay, that's right. Never mind.
And then I'm waiting on a couple codes, but I am thinking that I may not get them. But
what games are coming out? What games are coming out in March and April?
Well, in March, the one I'm looking forward to most is Story Seasons Pioneers of Olive Town. It's basically a Harvest Moon game.
That's coming out?
Yeah. End of the month. Yeah, so that. And then I wanted to get a review code for Monster Hunter Rise, but we'll see what happens. And then April is the Nier Replicant remake, which I never played the original Nier, so I'm kind of interested in playing that.
Okay. I would look forward to that in April. Also with Guilty Gear. No, wait, Guilty Gear.
Guilty Gear delayed.
Never mind.
Oops.
4K. I was so sad when that happened. 2 whole months.
Might as well make it good.
Yep, that's exactly. It's like, well, they're gonna make it good. So, all right. So more Trails news is that Trails of Cold Steel is gonna get an TV anime adaptation.
Lord.
Good Lord.
I hope the animation on that one is better than the animation for the opening of Cold Steel 4. I literally can't even watch the opening for Cold Steel 4 because I'm like, yo, this is fucking terrible. Like, who made this? Like, who made this? I think for all the no. Yeah. I think for all the Cold Steel games, they'll have terrible anime openings.
Yeah, because Cold Steel 1, it was like fake 2D animation, Okay. It wasn't actual animation. And I think it was the same with Cold Steel 2. And I think Cold Steel 3 had an anime. Cold Steel 3 had 2 openings, and it had that weird fake 2D animation, and then it had an actual anime intro.
Yeah. The Cold Steel 4 looks spooky as fuck. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Looks spooky as fuck.
It's a global by 4. Okay, the TV anime project is a global project by 4 companies: User Joy Technology, Funimation Global. That's all these. So Funimation's part of it. I just don't know. We don't know
what that means. Maybe they're like dubbing it as it airs in Japan or something like that. I don't know what that.
Simultaneous, maybe. Yeah.
Here,
check the chat. Maybe hopefully it's better than The
Oh
old
god.
Capcom anime. Have you seen that?
That
No,
was
I
like
haven't.
which one? The one that was the
Where
Trails
it's
in the Sky one?
and Trails and everybody together. They're like,
Oh yeah, that one. That one's just a joke anime. Yeah.
And didn't they say that this anime is gonna deviate from the story or something like that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I doesn't say anything right here. I mean, if it says it's gonna go, it's gonna be all 4 games. That's gonna be a really long series,
Nah,
unless they cut a lot of stuff out.
yeah, they're gonna cut a lot of shit. Like I don't expect them to. It's gonna start with Cold Steel 1, right? So
Yeah,
maybe they can do like a 12 episode anime for each game.
that's what I think.
That's what they could do. I don't see them doing 24 episodes for.
Each, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, episode 1, it's where they go and change the light bulb, and episode 2
Oh,
is where
man.
they go deliver the
Oh, man.
the
Taylor,
lunch for the
Taylor,
high school, the school president.
you know, all those are just gonna be in
Slander.
a montage. You know, that's all gonna be a montage.
Man, this town is just full of people that can't change a light bulb. It's so weird, you know. Like everybody here is just so inept. I guess I'll just do it myself.
No, it's actually a monster repelling light bulb. Thank you very much. And they don't have any. The military was saying, "Do it yourself, you plebs," and so they needed someone to do it with combat experience. I know, right? You make it seem like, oh, you need to go change a light bulb on a lamp in the middle of the street somewhere. But no,
I mean,
you're in
kind of.
you're in the wilderness.
Not really.
Changing a monster light bulb. I forgot what they're called. Portable lights or something like that.
Yeah, I'm mostly just giving it crap, but I mean, this is probably going to be the only way I'm going to digest this story. So I'm actually excited to watch it because hopefully it'll just have the good story stuff and cut out all the boring filler garbage.
I hope it's good because like people are gonna use this to measure like the full story of the Cold Steel games and say, well, I watched the anime and the story in the anime was trash, so I highly doubt the game's any better. They get a lot of those type of people.
Yep. They need a focus. They got to find a focus, and I think the focus is going to be, well, it has to be just Reen, right?
Yeah, it has to
So Reen trying to figure out stuff. So I think a lot of the bonding events stuff, it's gonna be cut out. So you don't have to focus on that all the time. Who do you think the main characters are gonna be? Who's Reen gonna spend most of the time with?
Probably Alyssa.
Elisa, Toa.
And I think what's her name? Fee will be like the comedy relief because she'll be like, yeah, whatever. I don't really care.
Yeah,
In the first one, no, Fee's just gonna be sleeping the entire time.
There you go.
So that's gonna be interesting. We're not gonna see that for
it's
3
the next
years.
year, right? I thought it was the next year.
All right. So let's move on to the next one since, who cares as much. Monster Hunter Stories 2, Rings of Wuruin, adds a PC version and launches July 9th. Are you guys looking forward to that?
Yeah, I actually got to watch the trailer. I never actually did watch that new trailer, but I'm more interested in that game than I am in Rise.
I am too. Yeah, it's like they added a lot of production value because the original was a 3DS game, and every time I look at that trailer, I'm like, man, they have cool towns. I like the aesthetic, like the world that they're of Monster Hunter that they're kind of doing. It looks neat, but they haven't shown any gameplay, which kind of has me worried. Like they've shown 2 trailers, game's out in 4 months, and we haven't seen gameplay.
That's spooky. That's a little bit weird.
Spoopy. But Taylor, does it have good water?
Oh, it's got great water. That water looks real good.
We're bringing back, we're bringing back that Taylor's most important point. Is the water good? Does the water look good?
Looks quality water.
But at least it's getting a PC version, right? Especially Rise. So now you don't have to play with 20 FPS on the Switch.
Exactly.
So that's good. Did you guys ever play the first one?
I didn't.
No.
I heard it's like sort of Pokemon-ish in the sense that like you're catching different monsters. It's turn-based. It's not action. So that's what I'm most curious about if they're keeping the turn-based combat or if they are or if they're gonna make it like an action game. But we'll have to keep waiting.
So they're making it into like a hybrid action turn-based game where you have to.
Thank God. You can change the style on the fly.
Exactly. When you activate your special abilities.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
All right. So next is Disgaea 6, Defiance of Destiny launches June 29th in the West.
I'd say let's go, but
Only for the Switch.
Only on the Switch. Yep. That's I'm probably gonna end up getting it on Switch, but I'm not happy about it. Maybe it'll be. Maybe I'll play it and it won't be as bad as I think it's gonna be. But man, after playing the demo in 60 FPS on PS4, and then going to the Switch, which has a performance mode I'm hearing, so I guess that's good. I guess I'll switch to performance mode, but it's a performance mode I think to keep it at 30 FPS. So
that's bad. That's not good.
I don't understand. I really don't understand the thought process behind this at all. Like people are saying that Disgaea 5 complete sell a whole bunch on Switch, so in the West gotta sell just as much. No, Disgaea 5 on Switch only sold that much because it was the only JRPG available on the Switch, and people were desperate for Switch games. Now the Switch has an overabundance of games on it and RPGs on it. Disgaea 5 is going to get overlooked. It's not selling all that great in Japan as of right now. I think it released in Japan a couple of months ago. It's probably only at like 45,000 copies at this point. Like I don't see it releasing in the West doing any better. Like they really thought that, and most of the Disgaea fan base is on PS4. Like it's like yes, they're on PC, not as much on PC. Yeah, they're on Switch, but again, there's a caveat to that. But most of the fan base is on PS4. Why would you think it's a good idea to only release on PS4 here? Like, is the budget that low? Localization budget that low? Like, can you not do both? I don't know, but it's just you're shooting yourself in the foot at this point.
So this is what I think is going to happen. All right, the Switch version is going to come out. It's going to sell as well. They're going to release a PC version and a PS5 version at the same time. That's what I think.
Wait, when?
No, I don't know when. I'm just saying they're going to create a complete edition. It's going to come out on the PC and the PS5.
Yeah, people keep saying that they're going to release. Yes, we know that that's definitely going to happen. Like probably a year later or sometime at the end of the year or something like that. But the point is, they're going to get upset that the game isn't selling well within the first couple of weeks after it releases. Which, if they're that concerned about it, which any game company is, you should be releasing on as many platforms as you can out the gate, so you can get as many sales as you possibly can. And in this case, you don't have to release on PC. You don't have to release on PS5. You could just release on the PS4, which has 100 million units out there, has most of your Disgaea fans on, and only on the Switch, which I guess has a good amount of units out there. But again, I don't think there's as many Disgaea fans out there on the Switch as they think.
Yeah, I'm kind of in your camp because they're like, yeah, I think that is a deceiving stat, like you were saying, because it was like it came out at launch on Switch, like you said, when it was like Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart, and like that was pretty much, and like people just wanted something to play, and I feel like people having a PS5 version, I think would be great because there really isn't a whole lot of native PS5 games from what I'm hearing. People are saying like if you don't have a PS5, like you're not missing much, is from what I'm hearing. So having it playable on PS5 might be a bigger boon than having it only release on Switch. So because it would kind of do the same thing, like, oh, we have nothing to play. Oh, let's play Disgaea. Sure, why not?
Actually, you might actually have a point there. Yeah, it might have the same effect as the Switch on Disgaea 5. You're right. It might have the same exact effect. Like I'm looking for a JRPG to play on a PS5. Well, Disgaea 6 is only on PS5 for now, so let's just play it on there. Let's
Watch
play
us
that
both
game.
be totally wrong and it crushes it on Switch.
I hope. You know what? Against my
because-
better judgment and everything I'm saying, I hope it smashes on Switch. I hope it sells out the ass on Switch when it releases in the West, because as I told you guys, it's not selling that great in Japan right now. So I hope.
Oh,
when it
really? I
releases-
didn't know that. Okay.
Nah, like I don't know if you consider like 40,000 or something like that within a month or two good, but I don't think that's that good. Actually, let
No.
me take a look at the latest sales, because I haven't looked at it in a couple of weeks.
It's because, well, I'm gonna say it's going to sell well because of people like Shadow who are gonna buy it even though they don't want to. He's like, I gotta play Disgaea 6.
Yep. Unfortunately, yeah, I
Yeah.
have to play Disgaea 6, and hopefully
Exactly.
I'll get a code for it at the very least. But
I can't imagine you wouldn't. I mean, you're a pretty big Disgaea advocate.
yeah, I covered other NIS American games, so there's no reason they shouldn't be giving me a code. So
You could be like, hey, so I put this video out earlier in the year talking about all the JRPGs that are coming out. I mentioned Disgaea 6. It's got like 300,000 views. Can you just hook me up? Like,
yeah, yeah, I cover games from NIS, so it shouldn't be a problem. The contact at NIS, they're pretty, they're always like responding, so I should be able to get a copy. Yeah, I don't even see this guy on here anymore. The latest Famitsu sales.
that's not
Who's
good.
that? Who's
Check.
Rosalind?
Rosalind, she's from Disgaea too.
And Adele
Yeah, they're both from Disgaea too. I think they're DLC. characters.
Isagi.
Asagi is like a recurring gag character. She wants to be the main character of the Disgaea series, or she just wants to have her own game in general, but she never does. She ends up being DLC.
And then Girl Laharl.
Yeah, that's in Disgaea D2. Laharo got turned into a girl, a busty hot chick for the most part. Yeah.
By the way,
So
speaking of gag DLC, did you see that in Japan they're doing HoloLive DLC for Disgaea 6?
Yeah, I don't know what that like. Is that like the actual characters, or it's just the colors?
I think basically here's what I think they did. I think they color swapped models they had in the game to look like HoloLive characters, and then the
yeah.
HoloLive girls are voicing the characters, and I think that's all it is.
Okay, all right. I guess that's cool. Like you couldn't make a whole bunch of new models for that. I guess
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah, like there's like a girl that's like a sheep girl, and they have like a character that vaguely looks like a sheep or something, and then they just colored it like her. Which, I mean, HoloLive is super popular right now, so I think that's actually a really good idea.
So all those characters that I just like talked about is bonus content that you get for free when you buy it at launch.
Oh, you buy at launch? Okay.
Yeah, you get those characters and their bonus stories.
Cool.
Okay, but the DLC, but if you get it at launch, it's free. After launch, you're not gonna get it, right? Or
I don't know because it says right here that it's on the disc. Oh no, included in game at launch. That's what it says.
Nice.
So I'm going to buy it, and then I'm not going to play it like I do with all the other Disgaea games.
That's funny. I heard this is pretty short relative to the other Disgaea games.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I heard it's really simplistic at this point too, which is it's gonna piss off a whole bunch of veteran Disgaea players.
Are you a veteran? Are you?
Yeah, I'm definitely a veteran myself.
All right, so you're gonna play it, and then you're gonna have a huge rant on your channel. Okay?
Yeah, probably. Like it's like they're saying that doing like typical Disgaea grinding is almost not even needed for the most part. Like you can get by with just buying new equipment, which for any Disgaea game almost is never the case, even for the post game content. So that's gonna be, oh man, I could see this game really pissing off some people. So like by the end of January, the game has sold less than 40,000 copies.
Ooh.
That was the end of January, so we don't know what's going on in February because it fell off the charts in February. It seems.
Wow.
That's combined the PS4 and the Switch in Japan.
That's not good.
So I don't know how it's gonna do any better in the West, but hey, I'm not NIS.
It might do better just because there's more people here.
That's true. Yeah, you might be right. Yeah.
But I mean, that seems to happen. Like, I feel like most JRPGs these days sell better in the West just by virtue of there being more people, you know?
True. There's a more dedicated hardcore fan base in the West because I think the West appreciates like JRPGs and anime games more than Japan does. Because
Yeah, you're right.
Japan, they're a dime a dozen.
Right. Yeah, no, that's true. Because here it's like unique. Like, I feel like there's a certain like you have to have a certain level of patience to be a JRPG fan because you're like, oh, that game looks cool. I hope we get a localization. I hope it comes out in the next 3 years, you know, like so when one does come out, we're like appreciative of it. At least that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, I think that's the same sentiment I have.
See,
But
there's
like,
a lot of weebs here in the West,
exactly. Yeah.
There sure are.
and a lot of annoying fandoms.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I feel like that, and this sort of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I still don't think Japan understands that we appreciate JRPGs for being like Japanese.
Yeah.
You know? And like, because like I'll remember this was, I mean, this was a while ago now, but this was like right before Persona 5 came out. I remember I was driving Lyft and I picked this guy up and he was from Japan. And I don't know how we got talking about it. We started talking about Persona and he's like, oh my God, you know what Persona is? I'm like, oh my God, I'm like super excited about it. And then he like showed me his phone and it was like his wallpaper and stuff. So like, I think I think Japan is still surprised that we like all these games. And it's like, we never stopped enjoying them. You kind of just, for some reason, decided one day that we aren't interested for some reason.
I think there's just not enough of us interested in it. And to get us interested, like to get the majority of casuals and regular people interested, you got to make it non-anime for the most part.
And that's not
Or
possible.
easy. They've been making JRPGs really easy lately. Like I remember, I couldn't believe how easy Three Houses was. Fire Emblem Three Houses. That game was
Oh,
super.
please. Yeah, that was they made that completely like casual and user friendly for everybody.
I mean, I play that on hard, and I don't think a
Yeah.
single character died until like the final battle.
And even if they did die, you could just rewind time
Right.
to
Yeah.
take another turn.
Yeah.
So they really made that game easy and made it for everybody.
But
But
it's the best-selling Fire Emblem game, so it must have worked.
That's because stupid, what's it called? Waifu and husbando sells now, and that's what that entire game was. They got rid of the gameplay and added pick your own harem.
Yeah,
you couldn't pick like a relationship or something like that in Three Houses, could you?
yeah, you could.
You could? Ah.
Mhm.
I don't remember that.
I only remember that because I picked female Byleth, and then I picked, and then I got into a relationship at the end of the game with one of the female characters. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know you were a lesbian. That's amazing. I just got lucky.
And I noticed from Fire Emblem, which is crazy, is because with Fire Emblem Three Houses, I noticed the girls are like really, how do I put this? Like they're really covered up. Like they're really like there's no like shameful quote unquote outfits or risque outfits in Three Houses.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you look at Fire Emblem Heroes, that's a whole different story. So
Oh, well, that's a gotcha game. They got to sell those swimsuits, you know.
that's true. Yeah, exactly. You don't see any
super
swimsuits.
hard into that. It's crazy.
You don't see anything like that in Fire Emblem Three Houses because Fire Emblem Three Houses is mainstream and it doesn't want to offend anybody. So that's how I was a little bit disappointed in that. I wanted the dancer outfit for the female characters to be a little bit more revealing. You know, not crazy revealing, but it's so like conserved. It's so like covered up, like it's done purposely not to offend anybody. Like I could see it, and that way it bothers me a little bit. It's weird.
Well, you got your Fire Emblem gotchas still, so you can play those.
That's true because there's a dancer outfit in Fire Emblem Heroes that looks really good and really risque, but you know you don't see that in Three Houses, so they don't want to offend the mainstream people. They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
All right, so let's move on to some questions. Oh wait, no, not questions yet. Let's do Taylor. You want to talk about Bravely Default 2?
Sure.
You said
It's more Bravely Default. I mean, to me, it's like the story is who cares, but the combat is like really where that game shines.
So did your impressions change from last week?
Did I talk about it last week?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, I think you only played that. You didn't play too much. I think now you played a lot.
I mean, it's not like, not really. It's probably the same. Like it's still like this. I don't really care about the story all that much, but the gameplay is really cool, and it's always fun to try out new classes. Grinding is actually fun. Like I can't remember the last time I had this much fun grinding. And you have to actually use your brain. I was listening to the your HPMP podcast, Shadow, and I know Bao was talking about how you have to actually think in the boss battles because they'll just destroy you if you don't pay attention, and that's totally true. Like I've died so many times in boss battles, but it hasn't been frustrating. It's like, interesting. Okay, clearly my party setup wasn't, I wasn't properly prepared. I'm like, all right, so these guys use a lot of paralysis moves. Let's go back to town, buy some paralysis rings, go back, fight, win. All right, great. Now I had a better strategy. So it's, in that sense, I kind of like that it's not like you could just walk in and do whatever. You have to actually think, which is cool.
Taylor?
Yeah.
Who are you?
I don't know.
Oh man,
This is not Taylor. You're not.
it's interesting because the way he described it sounds like almost like I want to say Shin Megami Tensei for the most part. Like when you go into a boss battle for Shin Megami Tensei, you don't have the right weakness, like elemental weakness to hit the boss with. You're probably gonna get destroyed. So you pretty much you get destroyed, and then you say, okay, let me change about my team and let me cover these weaknesses, and let me make sure I have these elementals, Zio, Aki, or whatever, Bufula, to hit the boss's weakness, and then I'll be okay.
Interesting.
I'm just surprised that you're not getting frustrated.
No, because you know what it is? Like there isn't like a blank, like if a game's hard, I get frustrated. I mean, I enjoy games with a challenge, but to me, it's all about setting those expectations. And the game sets that expectation very early. It's because like the demo was pretty hard. The first couple of bosses are hard. I'm like, okay, so I know that all the bosses are going to be hard. So now that I have that expectation, I can go in and go, okay, so if I get my butt kicked, it won't be a surprise. And that's what's been nice is every boss is so different because basically every boss is a new class that you can obtain. So after you beat them, you get access to that class, and yeah, so it's fun to figure out what the strategy is to beat them, and then it's fun to try out the new class and see how you can combo that with the other classes you have. And there's some that are a little bland, and I haven't quite figured out a great way to combo them, but I mean, I'm overall I'm enjoying it. About 20 hours in. I don't know how far that is in the grand scheme of the game, but having fun.
Bob was telling me on my podcast that there are like counters to everything you do. Like if you heal, an enemy will counter you or something like that.
It depends on the enemy, but yeah, sometimes there can be, which is really annoying because it's hard to tell what they're gonna be, and sometimes it's super frustrating because they'll be like, so you can examine an enemy and you can find out their weakness, and so what's really frustrating is there's a couple bosses where whatever their weakness is, they will counterattack whenever you hit them with their weakness, and it's like, what's the point of even them having a weakness then? And I guess that's part of the strategy is trying to figure out like how to work around that.
Is it like do they attack you before you even do the hit, or
you do the hit and then they'll hit you? Yeah.
I just found it wild how you could just heal. You'd be like, oh, my character's low on HP, let me heal, and then the enemy decides, oh, I'm gonna counter that heal with an even more devastating counterattack. I'm like, what? I've never heard that in a JRPG ever before in my life.
Now, that could happen, and maybe I'm just not remembering it, but I haven't run across an enemy that does that. It's mainly like, oh, if you attack with lightning, or if you hit with an axe, or if you hit with physical attacks or whatever, it's usually attacking. I haven't had something where if I heal, they'll counterattack, but that was a lot further than me. So maybe the bosses later get crazy or something. But there are abilities that you can get to where you can prevent counters or something. So I have one of my characters is a monk slash like beast hunter or something, and one of the abilities is anytime somebody counters you with a physical attack, it misses 100% of the time. So, which is kind of nice. So I can guarantee, like, oh, if I'm fighting a boss that's gonna do a lot of counterattacks, I can just wail on them with that character and just know I'm not gonna get hit or whatever. But yeah,
it's gotta be like Disgaea, where it's like counter, 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 counter.
It never ends. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to play it myself. Like a lot of people are saying the game is hard or normal, so I think I'm gonna try to play the game on hard and see what happens.
Have fun with that. Pretty challenging. I mean, the trash mobs aren't that hard, but the bosses are pretty challenging. And I think they're only challenging because you have to use a particular strategy. Like once you figure out what it is, it's not too bad. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, try it out.
It just sounds like you gotta go in the boss battle expecting not to win, but get your ass kicked, and then come back and make adjustments. To me, I'm stubborn. I'll go into a boss battle, and knowing my luck, I'll be completely at a disadvantage during this boss battle, but I'll still try to win. I'll get the boss down to like 25% health, and I'll just get completely unlucky and get like one-shotted. And then I'll go back to the boss and say, "Oh, I can do it with my current party. It's fine. I got him down to 25 HP again. Let me go do it again and see if I can just win this time around." No, I'll get my ass kicked. I won't even get him down to 75% HP. I won't even give him like I'll just keep getting my ass kicked, and then I'm like, okay, you know what? The time that I got him down to 25% HP was a miracle. Let me just go back and grind and change my party.
And that's the thing. I have definitely been doing a considerable amount of grinding, and weirdly enough, I feel like the game rewards you for doing that because there's two ways that you can like almost like hack the game. One is there's this like cut mechanic where there's grass and trees everywhere, and you can just cut them, and you can get items. Sometimes you can get items that aren't even for sale at the shop at the town you're at or whatever. Like that happened really early on. Like I was getting high potions and ethers and all this stuff, and I couldn't even buy them. And the other thing that can really help you store up items is there's an ability for the freelancer class called forage, where basically you just like dig for an item. And it could be like something you can sell, it could be a potion, it can be a JP orb, which is always really nice because then that will help you level up a lot faster. It could be an experience orb. So like if you're okay to grind, like this game really rewards you for it. And if you don't want to grind, sorry, let me just talk about one more thing and then you can ask. There's a mechanic where if you turn the game off, and I think I might have talked about this last week, but if you turn the game off, there's like this ship mechanic where you can set a ship off to go sailing, and then when you turn your switch back on, it'll be like, oh, your crew came back with all these items. So like even when you're not playing the game, it'll still get you stuff, which is kind of cool. So sorry, Shadow, what were you gonna say?
Nah, that's not what I was interrupting you. But is it like, are you grinding for levels or are you grinding for job skills?
Mainly for skills. I feel like levels. I'm not gonna say levels don't matter, but I feel like when you run into roadblocks, it's not because you're under leveled. It's because you don't have the right skill. At least that's been my experience. And that may be that I've just naturally leveled up because I've gotten into every fight and I've been grinding for skills and I'm leveling up. So yeah, hard to say. And I'm also doing every side quest that usually comes up. So yeah.
Sounds like I need to play this game.
Yeah, no, it's it's definitely a throwback JRPG through and through. And yeah, just don't go in expecting. Don't expect a mind-blowing story, and don't expect it to be easy. And
I don't hear anybody talking about the story. Like every time I hear about Blade Default, it's always about the gameplay, how you could switch classes, and how hard the game is. Not a soul is talking about the story. Like I don't even know the main character's name, but now I think I would know that even if I'm not playing the game or something like that.
So you can actually name him, but by default, no pun intended, his name is Seth.
Okay, so, all right.
Yeah, it's Seth, Elvis, Adele, and Gloria.
See, the fact that you can't even remember their names, that's probably a problem right there.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the. I know Elvis because he has such a crazy accent. Like Elvis is really easy to remember, but I think it's Adele and Gloria are the other two. But yeah, they're just. The story is you got to collect 4 crystals. I mean, like it doesn't get any blander than that.
I can't wait to play it. I gotta get done with Persona 5 Strikers.
Do it, finish.
Strikers is a good game. But what city are you at, by the way?
I think I just got done with the 3rd jail. Yeah, wait, did I? Yeah, I got done with the 3rd jail. That was the ice place,
Okay.
winter place. So I'm going to the next place. I think they said I'm going to Osaka or something like that. No, we're stopping by somewhere and then we're going to Osaka.
Oh, okay. Did you do the? Are you at the town with the Ferris wheel yet?
Yeah, I just got done with that one. Yeah.
Okay. Who did you take on the Ferris wheel thing?
Oh, I took on the Ferris wheel.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I was gonna like take a saves file and just do everybody, but it's like I don't really care. There's no relationship thing going on here. It's like who really care? I'll just view it on YouTube. If
Yeah,
anything.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's do some questions. And if you want to ask us questions, go join our Discord and ask them there, or send us questions to our Twitter. Links are down below. So, Proletariat asks, what is your favorite quality of life improvement that is common in JRPGs of today, but was unheard of in the 90s era?
Let's see.
Auto-saving?
Yeah, there you go. Autosave is definitely one. That's a lifesaver. Even though I kind of feel like sometimes it's a cop out because it's like back in the day, you had to really be careful when you enter a dungeon. You had to make sure you had everything. You had to make sure you were properly prepared, because if you go into the dungeon and you're halfway done with it or 75% done with it or something like that, you get your ass kicked. You got to go right back to the beginning. Or if you get to the boss in the dungeon, you get your ass kicked. You got to go back and do it over again.
It's not like wasting time, so I hated
Yeah,
that.
exactly. All it comes out is to wasting time. That's all it really is. But
It's
if you
wasting time. It's wasting time, but it's a consequence for your inadequate preparation.
It's supposed to be fun. Like, don't punish me because like that's just my thing.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, and that's why a lot of like common, like modern JRPGs have put it in there. Because like people were talking about Nocturne and how it has an autosave, and I'm like, that's such a, I don't know any other way to put it, but that's such a bitch move. That game is supposed to be hard, and the autosave just makes it easy. And I think you can also save anywhere, anytime you want, or like have a quick save or some shit like that. I'm like, yeah, that's not how it was in the original. The original was punishing and hard as hell.
See, they need to have save points. You could save at any time, but when you load, it puts you back to where the last save point was.
That's how Bravely Default is, by the way. Bravely Default has save points, so very classic in that.
Bravely Default 2?
2, excuse me. Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. What else?
I got one. Retrying a boss battle.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. That was my next one. I don't know if that's just like Taylor said, it's just like convenient to do it. Like you can instantly just retry a boss battle, no matter what, without having to load the game. I guess that's a time saver.
Like the recent Tales games, you could retry boss battles that are or rare battles, so that if you get like surprised and get your ass kicked, you don't like lose everything.
That's true, yeah.
But normal battles you cannot retry. If you lose, you're dead. So
yeah,
retrying boss battles, because no one likes loading watching a cutscene, doing the boss battle, losing, and then having to rewatch that cutscene all over again.
That's a problem, yeah. Especially if it's like you can't skip cutscenes.
Which is another thing in the 90s that you couldn't do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
I had others. I can't remember.
I mean, this is
some of them have it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Shadow.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, some of them have it, like fast forward, turbo mode, and stuff like that. Like being able to speed up the game a little bit. I know Bravely Default 2 definitely has it.
Yeah, battles. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Didn't Bravely Default 1 have that too?
It did, and one thing it removed, as far as I can tell, in Bravely Default 2. I haven't been able to find this. Oh well, because there's no random encounters, but you could adjust the encounter rate in Bravely Default 1, but now you can like see the enemies on the map in 2, so it doesn't make sense to have that, I guess. But yeah, I think that maybe is also why it makes grinding fun, because you can literally turn the speed up to 4 times and just blast through battles.
Yeah, that's probably what everybody's doing.
That's what I'm doing. For the boss battles, though, I slow it down because sometimes they do stuff. I'm like, what did you just do? And I can't even tell what's happening. So I slow it down for the boss battles. This is stupid, but like not having to swap discs. Although Final Fantasy VII, I bought this digitally, but apparently Final Fantasy VII was 2 discs on PS4. 7 Remake. So not having to swap discs is nice.
Oh yeah, they said that at the when they first revealed, or when they revealed the gameplay and everything. They said, "Oh, it's gonna take 2 discs," and I was thinking like, "No, it didn't. It didn't take 2 discs." And then I realized, "Oh yeah, played it digitally."
Yeah.
So did it actually have 2 discs?
I think it did. Yeah. But I don't know for sure because I bought it digitally also. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, I'm trying to think of other niceties that they didn't have back then. I mean, faster loading. I don't know. Yeah, I think we covered the big stuff.
Yeah.
Snappier battle systems.
Yeah. I mean, there are some that are pretty traditional, but like, I think games like Octopath, Persona 5, Bravely have figured out a way to make turn-based tolerable,
Yeah, like I just finished Final Fantasy 9 like maybe a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, how do we play games back on PS1? This shit, like without the fast forward toggle option, this is slow as hell. Like, what were we thinking back in the day? How do we play games like this?
We just didn't know better.
I think also it was because of the limitations of the systems we're playing on. I don't think they could have done faster stuff like that. It had to be slow.
True, but man, even like sometimes like running to a battle in Final Fantasy 9, it took forever to go from the field to the battle. I'm like, how do we deal with this?
Wait, did you play like the OG PS1 disc, or did you play the remaster?
Yeah, I played the remaster on Switch.
Oh, and the loading times were still slow?
And then load times was still slow. I'm like, thank God for this freaking turbo option. Fast thing us up. Yeah.
You know what I noticed? This is weird. I think the loading is purposefully slowed down because correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if you have turbo mode on, it like makes the loading go faster, or makes that little swirly thing and makes that go faster.
Yeah, it may go a lot faster.
That is insane.
So to think that we used to just go at that slow speed back on PS1.
Yep. See, that's why I think the best effects are the ones where it's like it shatters and then you're on the screen.
Like Final Fantasy 10.
Tales of the new Tales games do it. I think I just remember I'm going to talk about Tales of Destiny remake. Is it just goes and it just like loads instantly into a battle scene. It's just like a super quick fade out or Gaussian
Well, should be.
blur.
We have solid state drops now. There's no reason why transition to battle shouldn't be snappy in seconds. Yeah.
Real quick, to go back to the last question, I think another modern nicety that I really like are better maps. Because I was thinking about this. Apparently, the map in the original Xenoblade Chronicles is like terrible.
Oh my gosh.
And I was looking at people's play times compared to the definitive edition. I'm like, why is the definitive edition so much? People are beating it way faster, and people are like, oh, the map's a million times better. I'm like, so people thought the Wii version was a masterpiece with the bad map. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, yeah.
The only reason why Xenoblade was a masterpiece is because people were starved for a good JRPG.
Could have been, yeah. It was a huge drought back then. Yeah, I think all Xenoblade games have really bad maps, to be honest. Except for Definitive Edition now, obviously.
Thank you. People are like, oh my god, it's this giant open world and it's amazing. It's like, and all you do is run around and fight monsters. That's it. You just run around.
Just run around. That's all you do. And you defeat them with the power of friendship.
That's right.
Oh, man.
and have hot waifu blades.
You know what's really funny is to think that we weren't even going to get Xenoblade, and now we have Xenoblade characters in Smash. Like, that's pretty crazy if you think about it.
That's amazing.
I mean, we had Marth in Smash Bros. Melee, and we never had a
That's true. That's
Fire
true.
Emblem in the West yet.
That is true. It's a good point.
Darishan
We
asks,
still don't have Ness, or not Ness, Lucas.
Lucas,
We still have Lucas.
and we never will.
Nope.
Darishan asks, Xenogears and Shin Megami Tensei got me interested in learning about different religions and spirituality in general. Are you any of you spiritual? If so, has it affected your love of JRPGs?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm whatever you want to call it, religious Christian, but that definitely hasn't affected how I look at JRPGs at all. I don't think.
Yeah.
Same here.
Especially how most JRPGs is the religion that's in the world is evil, and you gotta defeat the god.
Yeah, half the time you're killing God, so it definitely is not, or the God is evil, or like I can't think of any game, like almost any JRPG, where like the God of the world is like ambivalent or loving. Can't think of one.
I was gonna say in Trails, the god is actually like been proven to be actually real. So she's all loving and caring.
Oh, interesting.
Adios, right?
Adios, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Praise Adios. Yeah.
Mhm.
Here's a question for you, Trails nerds. How
Or
long
issue.
is a Kreml?
A what?
How far is a Kreml?
Dremel?
It's like their measure of distance in the game.
No, I thought
Really?
Arge. I thought Arge.
Yeah, I think it was
was
Arge.
I
Yeah.
thought it was
Oh,
Arge.
Yeah, fine. Then how far is an Arge?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I have no clue. I was trying to say it was miles or something like that, maybe kilometers or whatever the Japanese and European, people use that. America doesn't.
Yeah.
I hate when they make up crap like that. Like, oh, it's 2 Arge and a half a Kreml. What that means nothing to me.
What's
Like,
that mean
help
to
me
me?
out.
I know. Let's look this up right now. All right.
Like you can make up your dumb like currency, like gold
dumb-
and bill,
Yeah.
and make
You're
that
dumb.
up. When you're making up fake distances, like
Like,
no,
stop this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
doesn't say.
Uh,
We'll never.
I never know. I want to. Okay. I really want to talk about this with Shadow so bad. It's a huge spoiler.
Nah, man. I'll use a spoiler.
It's a spoiler for Trails, and you've already played it. But oh, jeez. It's about the god. So
Okay. That is talking about.
yeah. I'm not gonna talk about it here. We'll talk about it later. Hookah Leconque asks, has there ever been a JRPG moment that really connected with your emotions to the point it brought you to tears? If so, what moment? For me, moments that come to mind are the scene before Luke and Ash duel in Tales of the Abyss, the sea where Fee vents to Ellie in Xenogears. I can't say whatever because it's a freaking spoiler. The flashback while Albedo breaks into tears when he realizes he's going to... Okay, can't say anything after that either. Yeah. And he sings, you know what makes me cry all the time or makes me emotional? The end credits.
Playing Tales of Destiny remake. Just anytime I play it, it makes me cry.
No, never. It never does. No, it's the end credits. When it's a good game, when the end credits pop up and you're like, damn, it's over.
And it's usually some sort of like piano music or something.
Yes. I think the best one that really resonates with me is I was with Brian. Brian and I were playing we're playing Final Fantasy Tactics, and we beat it, and then you just hear the dun, 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 dun. You're like, oh my god. The ending credits is so good in that.
Oh, dude,
That makes me tear up. Might sound like a pussy, but man, that song just like hits you right in the feels.
No way.
Like Taylor, yeah, Taylor right now is already emotional just thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few songs in in Tactics that get teary-eyed, like the opening song. Yeah, that I know what song you're talking about. That one hit me hard. There, weirdly enough, like when I think about a JRPG that's made me cry the most, it was Final Fantasy VII Remake. There were several points in that game, and I think it's just the nostalgia coming through, like the opening made me cry. I was like, dude, I can't believe how this is real and how good this looks. The music, like everything, like the opening got me. I don't think this is a spoiler, but there's a scene in 7 Remake where Aerith is going to rescue Marlene when the plate's falling. And she's talking to Marlene, and Marlene's like, "Oh no, we're gonna have to find a new home." And Aerith's like, "That's okay. Home is where the family is," and all of these kinds of things. I was like, that one really got me.
And
There's a new scene, and it was really touching.
Yeah,
yeah, I gotta admit that was a nice scene.
Like anything with Aerith, like there were so many scenes with Aerith. Like Aerith's theme, like really wells up a lot of emotion. Yeah, a lot of fun.
And I don't get the remake. And I'm not even like nostalgic for Final Fantasy VII. I played it once, and it was like in 2013.
Yeah, and then weirdly enough, the end of Valkyria Chronicles, and I can't. That's definitely a big spoiler, so I'm not gonna say what it is. But it's like, the reason behind it is a spoiler.
The ending? I thought the big like middle point.
Well, it's because I think I know what you're talking about, but it's at the end when like 2 characters get married and it shows their life after the war and everybody's happy and stuff. And I'm like, oh, they all ended up happy and stuff.
Oh, you mean when Estelle and Joshua get married?
Mm-hmm. I still need to figure that one out because I've only played Cold Steel 1, and in that game they're siblings. I'm like, how did they go from siblings to lovers?
I was joking because the main characters look like Joshua and Estelle in Valkyria Chronicles.
Yeah. I know what you mean. And I'm sure there's more, but those are the 2 that come to mind. And weirdly enough, the composer for Valkyria Chronicles is the same composer for Final Fantasy Tactics.
Oh yes, I know that because I remember playing the demo and the mission battle system there was that one song and I was like, it sounds like I'm playing Final Fantasy Tactics right now.
Same guy. But Shadow, any tears? Any games make you cry?
Really? Well, there's Final Fantasy Type 0. That one was the only one that comes to mind. There was the ending of Final Fantasy Type 0. I think it was one of the endings. I don't know if this is a true ending or a normal ending. I don't know, but it was about all the students, and that really was pretty sad. There was a moment in Valkyria Chronicles 4 where somebody did something towards the end, and I was like, oh, this is not gonna amount to anything. I was like, oh no, this actually had a long-term effect. This person actually, I can't say what it is, but yeah, I gotta be real vague about that. Kingdom Hearts 3 should have invoked something for me after all that time, but no, it was crap, and I'm never gonna play a Kingdom Hearts game again.
No, okay. You know what made me kind of feel emotional? It was the ending. It was the sound, like the ending part with the music, and when the thing that shouldn't have happened happens, and you're like, damn it!
Yeah, exactly.
It's just the song. The song's so good. Everyone's just at Destiny Islands, and then you're like, oh well, okay, of course.
Yeah. Do you think what's the best opening song for Kingdom Hearts?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ugh.
I mean, the first one, Simple and Clean. It's hard to beat Simple and Clean, right?
It really is, yeah.
But Face My Fears is pretty good too.
Really?
I like Face My Fears.
Is that the third one?
That's 1 for 3, yeah.
Really? I don't think Sanctuary or Sanctuary and Simple and Clean like Face Your Fears doesn't even come close to those at all.
It was really jarring when I heard it. I was like, okay, what's with this dubstep?
Yeah, it's a little funky, but leading up to that, it's good. Like when it's just the piano and it's kind of calm,
Mm-hmm.
They messed up. It's nowhere near as good as Sanctuary and Simple and Clean, in my opinion.
What do I?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I need to listen to my Sanctuary. Hold on.
Sanctuary and Simple and Clean are like equal in my book. They're epic, like 10 out of 10, like 100% amazing.
Okay, yeah, I think
Okay,
you're right. I'm listening to my Sanctuary right now. I think you're right.
Yeah, okay, which one is it? No, those are the intros, right?
Yeah.
What about the endings? The best
I don't
ending
remember
song.
the ending.
Isn't it like the instrumental for each one?
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah,
There's
they're good. They're definitely good. Yeah.
I think for Kingdom Hearts 2, like right after you defeat the boss and all that stuff. Oh, that's what's it called? I think it's called Passion. I have it.
Yeah, Passion is the Japanese. or
Yeah,
something
it's
like
called Passion After Battle, and that one's really good. Kingdom Hearts. I don't know how you get emotional from that game. It's just the music. The music's good.
Yep. Because
Yeah,
I
Face
think
Your
about that
Fears.
too. It's
Oh my
like,
God, Face Your Fears is terrible.
yeah,
Fisher
music.
One, it
Anything
literally
with
has
good
dubstep. What the fuck?
It just throws you off. Yeah, but I liked it, but it wasn't feel Kingdom Heartsy.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Simple Killing Sanctuary is where it's at.
Do 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 do. That's the main. Is that the main theme? I don't know what it's called. Hikari.
Yeah.
Good times. You know what also made me cry? When Super Saiyan 2 Gohan couldn't defeat Cell and Goku had to sacrifice himself.
Oh wow.
And you're just like, oh.
And then he did it, and then he beat him anyway.
No. I mean, he sacrificed himself and then Gohan. It's like, no, and you're like, no, I'm just joking.
Now's your chance.
Yeah, that was the most epic. That was like, oh, that was cool.
Isn't that's like top 5 anime moments like of all time?
Do you remember where you were when you saw that episode?
Probably in my house somewhere.
I just remember I was at my grandma's house and my brother Brian and I were watching it and we're recording it. And I just remember when the whole thing happened with Vegeta and we were all like screaming. And these are like kids, right? We're kids and we're like freaking out over this whole scene.
Yeah.
That was good times.
Good times.
All right. Next question. Hollow Man asks, what are your favorite time skip edgy redesigns in JRPGs like Rydia or Nier?
Really? I don't know if I like any of them. Because I'm thinking of like, hold on. The only 2 games that really come to mind with big time skips where the characters look different are Final Fantasy 15 and Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Oh,
and
man.
I'll never forgive Fire Emblem 3 Houses for what they did to my girl Mercedes. I'm so pissed. Her time skip hair is atrocious. It's offensive.
The time skip of Final Fantasy 15 was atrocious. That pissed me off so much. So bad.
Let's see. I'm looking here. Yeah, they're all edgy. I don't know if I like any of them though. I mean, I guess Dimitri from Fire Emblem, he gets real edgy. I kind of like him. Everybody else I don't really like. Yeah, I'm gonna say Dimitri, and that's it.
Reen to Reen, young Reen to teacher Reen, to edgy Reen. All time skips.
It's true. It's true.
I'll say P.
Which one?
P had a nice little glow up. P and
yeah.
Cold Steel.
Mm-hmm.
From like 2 to 3. 1 to 3.
When she became awesome. Trying to think of other time skips.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of time skips in JRPGs. It doesn't happen that often.
It really doesn't.
I know Grace Zeph had one, but that's It's not even a time skip. Though.
I mean, it kind of, yeah. I mean, it's a time skip.
That's a
Yeah, I
huge
get
time
that.
skip. But the kid designs are just like kid designs. Of course they're gonna suck. They're kids.
Well, exactly. That's part of it, but it's like it's the beginning of the game, and then like the rest of the game, it's like you know the standard thing that we always see.
Mhm.
Uh,
Which Ramza do you like, Taylor? First chapter, middle chapters, or last chapter?
Probably the blue armor.
Blue armored
So-
one?
Yeah, so probably that's the latter chapters, right?
Yeah, that's the last chapter, yeah.
Probably that one. I mean, that's not really. I get what you're saying, but I don't know if that's a time skip.
That's a time skip.
I mean, that's like just the game going on. I don't know if it's not like 3 years later or something.
Isn't it like 2 years later between young Ramza and middle Ramza?
I don't. It's been a while since I played Tactics. I don't remember.
Does Final Fantasy 6 count?
I mean, do they look any different though?
Yeah, it technically don't look any different. Yeah.
What about this is a dumb one. What about Final Fantasy 10 to 10-2? Does that count?
I thought we were like going within the same game.
Oh, okay. All right. You're probably right.
Then they get Cold Steel 3 to Cold Steel 4. Yeah, we can count that then if we're gonna count Cold Steel.
Even as I say that, I don't even know if there's necessarily somebody I'd pick in 10-2. I mean, Yuna has guns now, which is cool, but
I feel like time skip is such a broad, like not a broad term, but such like a buzzword for like shonen anime and anime in general.
I mean,
Like,
yeah.
It happens all the time in those just to show how much the main character has grown and stuff like that.
Freaking Attack on Titan time skip, man.
don't say anything about the new season. I haven't watched any of it.
Don't say anything.
I'm not saying anything.
I think I've caught up with some episodes, but I'm still behind.
I stopped watching it because I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait until this is all released because these episodes are pissing me
crazy.
off. They're pissing me off.
I ain't gonna lie, it's
Pissing you
probably-
They're making me so mad. I read ahead of what happens and I was like, what are they doing?
Uh-oh.
I have
Yeah.
a general idea of what happens, but I still don't want to know.
Yeah.
Or theory, really.
Sad. All right. So next question. Smash Miss asks, everyone always talks about best girl party members, but do you have any worst girl party members?
That little girl from Star Ocean 4.
Oh my God! Yes. Oh, Star Ocean 4. Sorry, I was thinking of the one from 5.
Which one from 5?
The main girl with the purple hair.
Oh yeah, she sucks too.
I was gonna say, I think Star Ocean in general just kind of sucks. Was it ever good? I mean, let's be real. Come on.
I think 1
Was
and
it
2 was like for everybody peak Star Ocean. 3 was kind of like 3 is my favorite Star Ocean game.
Well,
I love 3.
If one is peak, then that's sad because 1 was
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's sad. Like,
See, that's what I'm saying. I think people have like nostalgia glasses for some of these old franchises. Star Ocean's one of them, and I will die on this hill. Saga is one of them. Saga, I don't think was ever good either.
I mean, if you played it back in the day when it first came out on the PS1, maybe you could have nostalgic towards it. But all I see is like an off-brand Tales game.
I want to say,
Well, it was same guys, so it makes sense. Same team, or some of the same team.
I want to say, Juna from Cold Steel.
Really, you don't like her?
Like her, she's like, there's something about her that I just don't like. Oh,
Juno?
crossbow.
No, Juno, the redhead girl. Is that one?
Yeah,
No,
pink hair
Juna.
girl.
Yuna.
Yeah, was it Yuna or Juna?
It's Yuna.
It's spelled with a J.
Yeah.
What thinking? Like, I don't know. I play these games for like how many hours and I can't get the names right. I'm weird. But yeah, her. Muse almost fell into that. Almost.
Really? Muse is it's great.
I like Say, but like her whole story is a little bit too convenient.
Yeah, it is a little convenient. It's like you've never heard of this chick, and then suddenly she's an important part of the whole
Yeah,
story.
Part of the whole story. Oh my god, the ability that she has, like, should have probably took her a little bit further than we thought, but we can't go into that because spoilers. But
Yep.
who else?
I think Selfie. I don't like Selfie from 8, the nunchuck girl.
Oh, Final Fantasy
Fantasy 8. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I know you can kind of build characters however you want in that game, but I always just thought she was like the worst character for sure.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
I can't think of any annoying little girls because I probably blocked them from my mind because they're so bad.
Most Tales games have pretty good female characters, so
Yeah, I can't really go too hard on even like Annis and Tales of the Abyss. I thought she was annoying. I liked her, but as I started getting towards the end, I liked her.
And she was like annoying, but she wasn't like that annoying, you know, that type of annoying.
God, there's not that many that I can think of off the top of my head that I really hate. Except for her. Yeah, that girl in Star Ocean 4 and that cat girl in Star Ocean 4 as well.
I like how we have
Star Ocean 4 is awful.
It's all Star Ocean.
Yeah. No.
I'm looking at all the Tales characters. I can't think of a single one that's bad. Like it's like Sophie, Alicia. She's not in it that much, but it's not bad. Tyr, Estelle. I mean, they're all good characters.
Yeah,
Rudy.
good,
just throw out Tales of Symphonia because that's the worst cast. Just throw it out.
I can't even tell you that girl's name. The girl, the hot coffee girl. What's her name?
I don't know.
Do you not know that meme, Shadow? Oh, dude, that scene is gold. So apparently, the girl character in Tales of Symphonia can't feel like heat or something, or cold.
Just can't feel.
Yeah, and so Lloyd, the main character, is like, "Hey, so I wanted to give you a special present. Here's some hot coffee." And she's like, "Wow, it's really hot." And then he's like, "Actually, it's cold coffee." And she's like, "Oh yeah, just kidding. It's cold coffee." And he's like, "I lied. It's actually hot." It's so weird.
Yeah. I mean, I get what's going on, but it's like the way
out
it's
of context,
presented.
it is the funniest scene ever. I gotta find it. I mean, watching it right now is not the best time to watch it.
We'll watch it later. I can't. For some reason, I cannot think of an annoying girl character.
I can't think of any either.
And I know there's a lot of them, and I just can't think of any right now. I just don't want to offend the Twitter, get canceled. Just can't say it.
A lot of people found what's her name in Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse annoying. Forgot her name. Aisha? Forgot.
Tifa Lockhart, super annoying.
Man. Yeah, terrible.
Take you seriously.
Those are fighting words, son.
Yeah. Thirsty Jessie.
She was a little bit annoying. She was only annoying for the hypocrisy that she represented. Because if she was a guy, Twitter would have canceled the shit out of her. But since she's a girl, oh, it's cute. Oh my, so cute. And then they hate Tifa even more because Tifa's this busty, good-looking girl. Like, people only hate Tifa because she's good-looking. Like, I hate that. I hate that shit. Like, you're jealous because you don't have big boobs. You're jealous because you don't have like a flat stomach or something like that. That's all. That's why you love Aerith for. Like, damn. Do you see me getting jealous over a guy at 6'4" and 8-pack abs and shit like that? Like, no. Like, I can't stand some people sometimes.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna count Jessie for that. Even though I do think she's adorable, well, I'm gonna count Jessie just for that his hypocrisy that she represents. Because let that be zealous in Tales of Symphonia, please. Do would have got canceled.
Man, we got salty Shadow today, man. He's been salty today.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to point out the bullshit. It's the same thing like what right now is going on with Mithra and Pyra and freaking Smash. Oh, they got jiggle physics. Oh, we don't like these girls. They're just horny anime girls. Meanwhile, you got Resident Evil 8 with tall vampire lady. All no problem. Nobody saying anything about that. It's hypocrisy, man.
I gotta be honest. Speaking of that, the Resident Evil 8, I don't get the appeal. I don't understand that. Is it like a meme that everybody's in on because she's like an old lady? I don't get it.
She's a tall, thick woman. That's why. That's the only reason why. She's tall and thick.
All right. Whatever you say.
I don't get it. I mean, I get it, but I was like, I'm not part of that. It's like, okay, yeah. Scary tall vampire lady.
Yeah, I don't like the character art in the game or how she looks all that much in the game. I'm more of a fan of the fan art. The fan art is really hot.
It's because you can draw it any way you want.
Exactly, yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, I can't think of any annoying characters. Maybe what's her name, Nana and God Eater 2, but I still didn't. I liked her.
Yuffie.
Yeah,
Yuffie was
she's
fine.
awesome. Yeah, she's cool.
Excuse me.
Oh, what about Penelo from 12, Final Fantasy 12?
I don't think I hate her, but yeah, I guess we can count her too.
She's definitely worse girl because you have Ash and you have Fran in that game.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then you have Penelo. Like, come on.
Like what Devon, they only added her probably because for girls to relate or something like that. I don't know. She's not bad.
So girls to relate. So you're saying that all girls relate to annoying characters?
I say they relate to girls who aren't physically gifted. I'm just
Penelo is very normal looking,
yeah.
especially compared to Fran, who's very,
I want to root for the underdog character because she doesn't have that many appealing attributes or assets that the other girls do. You just like her because she's big boobs. I'm like, okay, what's the problem with that?
I gotta say, I love how you just like lean into that, Shadow. You're like, I like waifus. What of it?
Exactly. What's the problem here? Like, I swear, I get that look every time I say I like Tifa over Aerith. I'm like, okay.
So God made us. This is just how we are. Sorry.
I think Aerith is cute too, but yes, I do like Tifa better. And yes, maybe it's probably because she has a curvier figure and big boobs. What do you want from me? I'm not making excuses. Jesus, y'all making excuses. Y'all know. Okay, you know I'm not.
I'm not. No, I like ranty Shadow. Let's get more ranty Shadow.
Yeah. I'm
trying to find the characters. Where are the characters? This girl. Her name is Penelo.
Yeah, Penelo. 512.
I can't see it. Okay. I can't think of anything else. Let's see if there's one more question. Isual asks, how important are game saves and data to us?
Important. I mean, like, I just finished East 8 like a couple weeks back, maybe a month ago at this point. I have like 250 save files.
What? Really?
Yes.
I'm the guy that just overwrites the same file over and over and over again.
You're absolutely insane. Hell no. Hell no. I hate it when I play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and it only had one save file. I was so pissed. I was like, are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. But yeah, I keep multiple save files and I will always forever keep them.
I still have do you still have your memory cards from PS2 game days?
I think I do. I'm pretty
PS1
sure
days.
I do.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I do.
I have one, and then I have another one that has all my old Tales of Destiny and Final Fantasy Tactics files on it, and it is dead. I cannot use it.
Isn't it like the battery runs out or something like that on that?
It says it needs a format, and I'm like, I need a format, no. Look at my files, but whatever.
Yeah, God, Pinot sucks.
I see a picture. She's just a typical blonde-haired girl.
I mean, it's not even like her. I mean, her design is whatever, but she's like, "All right, Vaughn, you're getting into trouble." She's like kind of a tattletale too, sort of at the beginning of the game. So like, she's also sort of the wet blanket of the party. It's like, all right, you're a good healer, I guess, but that's it.
I mean, it's just Fran and then Ashelia.
Yeah, they just call her Ash in the game, but yeah.
Either remake Final Fantasy 12 and make Fran and Balthier the main characters.
Agreed, because they pretty much are.
They should have been, like, and they literally did it at the last minute to put Vaughn in there, because they were like, oh, we got to make sure this relates to the demographic audience.
Democratic audience. What's that all
about? Stupid.
All right, so that's the final question of the day. This episode has been very ranty and has been fun. I like it. From everyone, not just us, not just Shadow, from everyone. We went off on a lot of rants.
We got nice and salty.
Yeah, very salty. I've been kind of out of it because I have a huge headache, but it's all good. And yeah, so we'll be back next week. Hopefully there'll be a lot more news. Maybe if there isn't, we'll do a top 5 episode or something like that, or even have Connor on. So yeah, look forward to that, and we'll see you next time. See ya.
Later.
Later.